you were given two options. I can give you $3 million today, or I can give you 1 penny today and double your cash on hand every 31 days. What would you choose? Think about that. Our actions cause ripples through our lives. Take positive action, positive ripples. Negative action, negative ripples. Life is all about the actions that we take. And if you're wondering what the value of that doubling penny was at the end of 31 days, that's $10,737,418. Self-discipline can't make you $10 million in 1 month, but it can drastically change your life. The benefits of self-discipline don't only create ripples, they compound. My name is Michael Calhoun, and for the past 10 years I have studied and applied techniques to create a life that I love. Outside of school and work, I run a coaching and nutrition business with my lovely wife so we can help others become the absolute best versions of themselves possible. Simply put, I believe that self-discipline is the core component of living a happy, healthy, fulfilling life. We hear it all the time. If you want to succeed, you need self-discipline. Leading researchers tell us that self-discipline is the driving force that creates all the goodness in our lives. Whether it's Charles Duhigg in his book, The Power of Habit, Roy Baumeister in Willpower, or Kelly McGonigal in her book, The Willpower Instinct, all signs point to self-discipline as the catalyst to a happy, healthy, fulfilling life. Before we move on, I would like you to take a moment to picture you at your absolute best. How do you walk? How do you talk, dress, and most importantly, what do you do? Because as we move forward, I want you to keep that absolute best version of you in mind. So, what are the effects of self-discipline? Everything. You see, there is a gap between who you are being and who you are capable of being. We need to bridge that gap, and we do this through action. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, believes that we need to become 1% better every day. That's it! Can you become 1% better today? The magic in this 1% is found in compounding interest. Remember our penny that doubled every day? Well, let's take a look at how much better we will be when we get better 1% every day. At the end of 1 year, we're 37 times better. 2 years, 1,400 times. 3, 53,000. 4 years, 2 million. The numbers get crazy as we project our awesomeness out multiple years. And that is the power of 1%. When we have self-discipline, anything is possible. Any hope, desire, or dream that we have can be reached with time. Self-discipline is defined as the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. Imagine who you could be if you had the power to do what you needed to do no matter how you felt. However, we don't want to count on self-discipline to get us through everything. Why can't we count on self-discipline? Because it's limited! Self-discipline in all its glory allows us to achieve. At its worst, we abandon what is important to us, sabotage progress, and in certain cases take multiple steps backwards instead of forwards. Self-discipline is a limited resource and is much like a muscle. If we train, it grows. If we don't use it, it shrinks. And like all muscles, it can fatigue, and that's when we are in danger. Roy Baumeister, author of a wonderful book called Willpower, believes that we need to play offense with our willpower, not defense. He details that people who sparingly utilize self-discipline don't actually use it to deal with many temptations because they are playing offense with their willpower. For example, if we're going to try to quit eating cookies, offense is not buying the cookies at the store. Defense is trying not to eat those cookies when they're looking at us straight in the face screaming, "Eat me!" from the countertop. We don't need that. We need to take a look at our life and figure out where we can shift things so that we don't have to rely on self-discipline. Which leads me to ask, what is important to you? Stephen Covey, author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, believes that we need to begin with the end in mind. In fact, habit number 2 of his acclaimed book is begin with the end in mind. Here are his thoughts about it. The basic problem is that their priorities have not become deeply planted in their hearts and minds. They have not internalized habit number 2, begin with the end in mind. I truly did not know what I wanted to do until I took a step back and analyzed what needed to be done to get to where I wanted to be. What does that best version of you look like, and what is it going to take to get there? So hopefully by now you understand that we need to begin with the end in mind. Use our willpower sparingly and play offense, not defense, to achieve what we want. But this is all theory. How do we move from theory to practice to mastery? We limit the use of our self-discipline through habits. We create healthy habits that don't need self-discipline to follow through. Here are a few guidelines for creating some healthy habits that work for you. 100% is easy, 99% is a pain. Seriously, commit to whatever you decide. If you decide to commit to quit eating cookies, don't eat cookies at all. Don't say I'm going to eat cookies 2 times a week, because every single day you're going to ask yourself, am I going to eat a cookie today? What a waste of willpower. 100% commitment is so much easier. And once we commit, we want to make it easy. Make whatever you decide to do absurdly simple, ridiculous. If you want to exercise, do 1 push-up. Call it a win. Now that you made it easy, you gotta do it daily. We need to invite Mr. Momentum to our side and do it daily. And when we do this, we can do this by an if-then routine. Charles Duhigg in The Power of Habits states that there are 3 steps to habits. There's a cue, that's our if, there's a routine, that's our then, and then finally we get the reward, the payoff. Now Scott Adams, the creator of the comic strip Dilbert, provided a great example of how he utilizes if-then routines for exercise. If he sees his workout clothes, then he works out. It's as simple as that. Now, one final tool that you can use to create healthy habits is to pre-commit. Pick a time, pick a place, and do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Be like Nike and just do it. So far, we have covered the effects of self-discipline, why we don't want to rely on it, and how healthy habits can help us play offense with self-discipline to achieve our dreams. All that I'm asking of you is 1%. Do you believe that you can become 1% better today? How about tomorrow? The day after that? The gap between who we are capable of being and who we are being is closed 1% at a time. Self-discipline is that core. We need to understand that the effects of self-discipline are compounding, and these can send positive or negative ripples throughout our lives. Abraham Maslow once said, we either step forward into growth or back into safety. Will you step forward 1 step, 1% at a time? Here's to you feeling better today while getting better tomorrow. See you, everyone. All right.